Hi, it's Clipper Rail and a very warm welcome to this review video of the Hornby LNER Gresley Teak coaches. So these coaches were designed by Sir Nigel Gresley and they were built in the interwar years and ran in service until probably the late 1950s and some of them maybe into the early 1960s. It's a little bit early for the timescale for my layout, and they're also not cheap. I mean, these coaches retail at £55 each. Even with a little bit of discount, I mean, I paid £50 each for them, which is a lot of money for a rake of coaches which aren't really going to fit with the era that I'm aiming my layout at. But really, I mean, they are a beautiful set of coaches, very unique as well with the wood effect, and I thought we'd do is make the jump because they're getting very, very difficult to get hold of now. I think I pretty much probably got the last complete set that's available at the moment. There's a few odds and sods around, ones and twos, but this complete set was available through Hobby Tracks. They had one of each of the 5 main coaches, and I just made the jump and decided to go for it. And I'm really glad I did because they are really, really beautiful, unique coaches. And whether they're not my era, they look great running around the layout behind pretty much anything. So let's go on and have a look at them. So at present then, there are 5 in the range that have been released. There's our 4826, which is the corridor brake composite coach. So it's a composite first and third with a brake. R4827, which is the corridor first class coach. R4828, which is the corridor third class coach, R4829, which is the corridor buffet coach, and then R4830, which is the passenger brake coach. So that's a full brake coach. One of the first things we notice is just how different all 5 of these coaches are from each other. So we're going to look through each one of them individually, and we'll start with our 4830, which is the passenger full brake coach. Out of the rake of 5, this one's probably the odd one out in that it doesn't have any obvious passenger seating, it doesn't have any large passenger compartment windows, and it's a pure brake coach, really just for carrying suitcases, parcels, mail, even racing pigeons apparently some of them were used for. It's not lit, and given the price of the coaches, that's probably a little bit of a criticism. However, when we come to look at the wood effect, that's really what you're paying for. Because what it's looking to do is to actually give the impression that the coach is made up of separate wooden panels rather than one large piece of wood. And that's the way the tampo printing has been set up, that each panel has an individual grain and wood pattern with knots and things like that on it that has been achieved by multiple layers of tampo printing. It really is a striking, beautiful effect. They've done a really, really good job of it, and I know there's been some criticism from various manufacturing runs that they've done of these coaches, but the latest ones, this batch, really are absolutely spot on. A really unique look to the coach, and they've done a great job of it. The coaches, each side of the coach is a mirror image. So although all 5 coaches look quite different from each other, if we compare each side of each coach, they both look differently from each other as well across all 5 coaches in the range. And this one's no different. And what we have on one side is we've got 2 double doors, a single door and a window, and then 2 double doors. And when we go around to look at the other side, we've got a double doors, a single door with a window, and then 2 sets of double doors. The lettering, they've really done a great job of the lettering as well. A really fantastic looking LNER lettering and numbering on the coach. Now go on to look at R4827, which is the corridor first class coach, and this is one of the compartment coaches. And the side that we're looking at here is the corridor side, so it has larger windows and the intermediate doors between it. The other side of the coach looks very different. That is the compartment side of the coach, which has a larger number of smaller windows. So Compared to the third class coach, this coach has one less compartment in it. So I'm assuming because it's first class, the compartments are bigger to give people more space. And as a result, it means we've got 8 windows and 4 doors on the corridor side, and we've got 14 windows and 7 doors on the compartment side. So it's less windows and less doors compared to the third class corridor coach. The compartments inside are surprisingly nicely modelled. We've got seats, the upholstery in the seat, if you like, is a blue colour, and then we've got this kind of brown colour, which is, I suppose, meant to mimic the sort of wood effect of the panelling inside the coach. And it's nicely done, and we've got lots of details in the window, little smoking, non-smoking signs, things like that, which is, the more you look at this, the more detail you see in it, and it really is one of the things that makes it such a nice model to have. We've got separately fitted handrails. The little door handles are picked out in gold. They're not separately fitted, they're just moulded, but they do look pretty effective. So now go on to look at R4829, which is the buffet coach, and even amongst a really beautiful rake of coaches that this is, the buffet coach is really something a little bit special. So the first thing is it's an open coach, so we've got large windows on either side. And one of the most striking things about the windows is that they seem to be very, very clear. They do actually look like miniature glass rather than that sort of brittle plastic type thing that we've got, that we see quite a lot on other coaches. But again, each side is different. On this side here, we've got 8 windows and 2 doors. And on the other side, we've got 9 windows and 2 doors. So again, the different sides of the coach look very different. The roof detail is also individual, and it's quite a bit different from the other coaches because we've got 2 additional large vents on top of the kitchen area. But what really sets it apart is the extra interior detail that we've got. For a start, we've got tables and chairs there in blue. The floor is blue as well, which looks a little bit like the linoleum. If you've ever been in any of these old coaches, it looks like the sort of linoleum flooring. But beyond the passenger area, we then move into the buffet, the sort of bar area, and we've got an actual buffet bar thing, the sort of curved sort of Art Deco type style, and it's got rails at the floor and rails round the waist, that's obvious. We've got these sort of goblin silvery type things that go from the bar up into the roof. I don't know if that's sort of extractor vent type things. We've got a little clear sort of cake stand, a sort of panelled clear cake stand thing, which is a really nice touch. If we go around to the other side, we see the kitchen area, which has got a frosted window, and through that we can see what looks like sinks or food sort of prep areas. Amazing. Moving on to R4828, which is the corridor third. What we have this time is a coach that looks similar to the first class, except in the number of compartments, that we've got an extra compartment in the third class, which I'm assuming is because it's third class, you get a smaller compartment. And what that means on this side, on the compartment side, we've got 16 windows and 8 doors, as opposed to the 14 windows and 7 doors that we had on the first class. On the compartment side, we've got 9 windows and 4 doors compared to the 8 windows and 4 doors that we saw on the first class coach. The other big difference is in the compartments themselves, that the seating this time is red, whereas in the first class it was blue. The last coach in the rake then is our 4826, which is the composite corridor brake, and about half the coach is made up of compartments relating to third class, and then we've got two compartments that are first class, and then we've got a short section which is the guard section. So very different again. We've got the windows, the smaller windows along the compartment side, and then the larger windows along the corridor side. And this time we've got differences in the interior, that we can see the transition between the third class, which has red seats, and the blue first class seats. And then we've obviously got the brake section, and there's probably toilet sections as well, which are windows that are whitened out. And just to have a look at the last couple of details, we've got the coach connectors, so that's all wood. We've got a wooden panel door, and then we've got a plastic connector round about that joins up the corridors and the coaches. And just a little bit more detail on the roof sections as well, just to see some of the finer details that are applied on there. But a fantastic set of coaches.